Natalie, you've seen Ten Hag's side a couple of times this season, the Spurs and Arsenal defeats.
Mm-hmm.
What have you noticed about them?
I think there were two different games, very different types of defeats, because just a matter of centimeters, we wouldn't be talking about Man United in the same way with the Garnacho goal against Arsenal.
I hear what you're saying, but equally, matter of centimeters with the Wolves, or a matter of a different VAR call, they wouldn't have picked up 3 points there.
Yes, no, definitely. And I think with Man United, I'm very interested how Ten Hag's gonna figure out his attacking choices now. With the Sancho situation and the Antony situation, Antony's not gonna play. Is Sancho gonna play? If Sancho's not playing, who will play in this position? Will he play Garnacho on that side of the pitch because it's not his side of the pitch? Or will he change the formation and maybe, I don't know, put McTominay on midfield? Because everybody's been talking about this possibility. Everybody but Ten Hag. Everybody's been talking about this possibility, and change to kind of like a 4-4-2 with Rashford and Højlund possibly starting his first game. So there are a few options that he can show against Brighton, but there is this, I don't know, we talk about Man United being such a mess out of the pitch, and it's not that they're a mess on the pitch at all, but it doesn't look. If you look at the progression of Ten Hag's work last season, this season should have started differently.
No, you're not seeing that progression.
Yeah, in these first matches, not as much as I thought they would show, because they showed some very positive things last season. So I was expecting Man United to just keep on that.
One of the areas in which they seem to have gone backwards is Casemiro's form.
Yes,
what's that about?
Yeah, and this is why everybody's mentioning McTominay a lot.
Right.
And yeah, there are a lot of people saying that Casemiro is not showing the same intensity at the start of the season compared to last season. Maybe, well, I think against Arsenal he was very efficient, and I think on the first match of the season he was kind of there was a lot for him to take care of. And I think they kind of adjusted that, but it's not there yet. I think the expectations with Casemiro also are very high, especially when you're playing on a midfield with Eriksen with more freedom and not the same physicality as Eriksen years ago, which is absolutely normal. And I think it's kind of like Casemiro always has to make up for everything that's not working at Man United. So I think in a way he's a bit exposed, not only tactically, but in this sense of making up if defensive is not working really well, or injuries or things like that. Casemiro has to make up for that. And if the midfield is not showing fluidity, Casemiro has to make up for that. So,
and every international break, McTominay turns into Yaya Toure.
Yes,
and there's and there's two more of those before the end of the year. So poor old Casemiro. But I was thinking in Ten Hag's defence, since he's been there for the last 2 seasons, there's been a lot of sort of stink around the club. Like obviously there was like the Ronaldo stuff last season. This year there's been Antony, obviously. There's Jadon Sancho, and of course all the sort of furore around Harry Maguire at the moment. So like, quite a lot of distraction there. The takeover not happening in the background, which I was thinking about as I was washing my hands with Ineos hand wash in the athletic toilet. So yeah, he's not had just a smooth run of fully available players, no controversy. So it's mitigating.
Am I right in saying there's been something of a rapprochement, to use the Pré d'Avignon.
Putting it in terms I'll understand.
Between Ten Hag and Jadon.
I'm not sure. I mean, I know there's been the Athletic have done various reports on kind of the background to it and all of that, and I think it is a really interesting
he deleted the tweet.
He deleted the tweet.
What was the tweet that he deleted?
The one saying that I've been scapegoated.
Oh, I see. Okay.
With a lot of quite incongruous exclamation marks.
How many exclamation marks?
Quite a few. I have this thing where quite often footballers and famous people will use exclamation marks in a way that I find really quite odd.
Okay.
So it would, it might be like someone's died or something. Right. It would be like R.I.P. exclamation mark, like we'll miss you. And I'm just like, that feels a little bit sort of, an exclamation mark to me is more joyful.
Yeah, it's bouncy.
Yeah.
Is it? I think so,
yeah.
Mostly,
R.I.P. exclamation mark.
It's either bouncy or angry. It's not.
Yeah.
It's
you
not
want it to be
mournful.
measured
Yeah.
and thoughtful.
Yeah, with United, watching the game where they lost to Spurs a few weeks ago, they reminded me a little bit of where Conte's Tottenham were this time a year ago, whereby the results aren't terrible and they'll probably win enough games to, I don't know, at this point get fourth, something like that. But there's a bit of a joylessness. Like you don't really see a kind of a week-to-week feeling of massive progress. And if you look at last season, they did go on one very good run, United, but it was generally against pretty weak opposition. Like their record against good teams, especially away, is terrible.
Right.
And I don't know, I find it, like I know when Spurs were looking at Ten Hag in summer of 2021, he didn't come across particularly well in a sort of, in like a way Postecoglou can like unite a club. I think Ten Hag is a lot more serious, and that's fine.
Right.
But I don't know, it just doesn't seem a whole lot of fun right now.
Hello there. If you've enjoyed this video, why not subscribe to this channel? The Totally Football Show podcast is available 3 times a week, bringing you all the football news you could reasonably be expected to care about. We've got views, we've got stats, we've got analysis, we've got some of the best football writers around, and the whole thing is absolutely free. So have a listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or all the usual places by clicking on the link below.